Builders, are we ready to build?
Yeah.
All right. Let's build.
Hey, what's happening? It's SirJames coming at you guys with another video, and in today's video, I'm here to give you guys my review on the custom lightsabers from Savi's workshop. Before we continue, I want to go ahead and go over some basic information, which is how much does it cost and what exactly do you get in the package deal. Well, the initial cost is going to be $200 if you want to construct a custom lightsaber from any of the four options, but in total it's going to be $215.50. The four different options you have available to you to choose from, you have the Peace and Justice, which is of course a nod to the Jedi, Power Control, a nod to the Sith, Protection and Defense, which is the one that I chose, so something like the Old Republic, and of course you have Elemental Nature. Each one has their own unique styles to it, so the choice is up to you, and they will have paperwork and sheets to show you to kind of give you some of the examples of what the parts will look like, so you have a better idea of what speaks out to you. In your initial package deal, you will get the following item. Of course, again, you have your choice of what saber. You will also receive an exclusive pin, again because I chose Protection and Defense. This is the exclusive pin that you will get. There's a total of 4 to collect, and you will not be able to buy these anywhere in the park. You will also receive one Kyber crystal of your choosing. Keep in mind that in the show, there's only 4 to choose from. You have green, blue, red, and of course purple. If you happen to go into the shop next door to choose another color, such as white or even yellow, the gatherers will ask you to politely to please not use these and to stick with the 4 options that they have available. You also have the whole presentation and show and the construction process of your lightsaber, which is really enjoyable. So if you're able to do that at least once, recommend it for sure. Now when it comes to the parts, you are going to have, of course, your hilts. This is what you start with when you're beginning the building process. It's very bare bones, and just the center portion is more of a plastic fill-in, but the parts that you put over it are metal components. When you are done completing your lightsaber build, you will also receive a blade, which is about 31 or 32 inches. And of course, you will also receive a carrying bag for your saber, which basically is a pretty basic bag for $200. I kind of wish the bag was a bit better, but that's just my opinion. And this is more of a pool noodle to protect, of course, your blade. And you also have padding up here in the front to protect the hilt. So now that we got that information out of the way, as they would say, let's go ahead and begin building. So what you start with, of course, again, you have the hilt of your saber. Again, this is a plastic construction, and your battery compartment is located down here, which will utilize 3 AAA batteries. I actually replaced the batteries on these because, you know, usually the ones you get at Disney are basic cheapo batteries. So if you wanted to, or if you want to go with my recommendation, I definitely put some newer batteries if you want to. And for this build, since I'm not restricted to 4 different colors, I'm actually going to use a yellow Kyber crystal. So what you will do is that you'll take this, you'll notice that in here, this is where your Kyber crystal will sit. This up here is actually a little spring, so you will take your crystal. Do keep in mind that this is the front where the blade will go into, and this is the bottom where the battery pack is. Of course, you'll take your crystal and put it in that center component. It's a little tricky to do at first, because the crystals come in all shapes and sizes. Once your crystal is in place, you're just going to go ahead and spin it, and you'll know it's all set and done when it's not falling out of place. When you are constructing your lightsaber, these are the different options you will have. Keep in mind that I don't have all the different styles for the Protection and Defense to showcase, but to give you guys the basic idea is that you will have 2 different styles for the pommel. This, of course, will be the part that goes over your battery pack. You will also receive 4 different styles for the grips. And again, these are made of metal. And basically how the process will work is once you find a grip that you like, just make note, of course, again, where the blade will go into and the bottom, and figure out where do you want your components. You know, maybe you want this to go here, and maybe you want this one to go here. Or maybe you're not too happy with that, so you want to go ahead and switch a step. So again, we're going to go ahead and put this one down here and here. Again, you have different options. The show is about 15 minutes, so you're not pressured to hurry up and build your saber. You have plenty of time. No one's going to rush you. Just figure out what works best for you and be happy with it. You will also receive 2 different styles for your activation plates. Now the way this works is that there are 2 different colors. There is a red component in the inside of this, and there's also a blue. How this will connect is that if you look on the hilt itself, there is a red and blue. There you go. So all you need to do is to match these. It's best to start with the activation plate first. So once you figure out which one you want, the blue will match up with the blue, like so. Then of course red will match with red. So there we go, we have 1 of the 5 components completed. Next up is of course we're just going to go ahead and work our way down. So in this case for my grip, I chose this one as the bottom piece. Keep in mind that each one of these have, of course, a much bigger ring at the end, and you don't have a ring on the other side. The one with the big ring is going to be the one going towards your kyber crystal. So I'm going to go ahead and put that there and tighten it. And of course here we have my pommel, which of course has the clip that will be able to go into a lightsaber belt, or that will be able to attach to a lightsaber belt clip. So this will go ahead and attach down here. Of course, you will also hear some sound effects. So now that's good and done. We are actually about halfway there. And what's pretty cool is that, if I can remove it in time, there's actually a little bit of lighting going on. And you can kind of see it blinking and registering. As you can see, it did register the yellow kyber crystal. Put that back into place. Next up is, of course, you're going to take your other grip option, put it over the top. Again, the big ring will go towards your kyber crystal. Go ahead and screw that on. And of course, you're going to have 2 different options for your emitters. All the additional parts that you did not utilize, unfortunately, you do not get to keep. So also keep that in mind. And of course, when it's all said and done, boom, you have constructed a lightsaber. Then it'll get to the point in the show where, of course, they'll come around, put your hilt into this contraption, which is basically them attaching the blade. And then it'll be the epic moment where you and everyone else will ignite the blade at the same time and lift up the showcase. It's just a really cool moment. But of course, when everything is put together, this is what happens. Your lightsaber is ready to go. Now, one thing to note is that, of course, if you are wanting to change kyber crystals, it's very easy to do. You'll be unscrewing this component here and this component here, which is why you have the big ring here and not on the bottom, because when you unscrew these will actually go into the other 2 components, meaning that these will actually come apart. You could remove the activation plate to get access to the kyber crystal. So what I'm going to go ahead and do now is to basically reduce the lighting here. And then we're going to go ahead and go over all the different kyber crystals that I have available, which is basically all the colors. So again, here is yellow. So I'll go ahead and give you guys a demonstration of the color. And then of course a close-up on sound. So starting off with the yellow kyber crystal. And of course the sound test. Next up, we're going to go ahead and take a green kyber crystal now. When you put a new one in, it will actually register and have some sound effects, which is pretty neat. So here we go with green. Now there's a chance my camera may register it slightly different. And of course the sound. Next up, let's go ahead and get a white kyber crystal. Again, registered. And you know it's registered because you'll just hear the sound effects towards it. And fun fact, if you're wanting to change the kyber crystals around without having to put everything together, you could actually just put this portion of the activation plate on, which is the one that you remove up and down. So you can just put half of that on and still activate it. So here is the white kyber crystal. And then of course the sound. That one sounds really, really cool. Next up is purple. When I was doing this experience, I chose purple. And believe it or not, when I went next door to Doc Ondar's, they didn't have any extra purple kyber crystal. So I think it was just the right moment in the Force calling. So here's, again, purple. This one also sounds really cool. And of course the sound. I mean, doesn't that just sound powerful? Let's see, next up we have the blue kyber crystal. So here is blue. And of course sound. And last but not least, we have red. Now, some of you are going to be saying, but wait, there's a black kyber crystal. Yes, there is a black kyber crystal, which is hidden in the red tubes. However, even if you have a black kyber crystal, it's still going to ignite red. Keep that in mind. However, I heard Disney is going to be changing things because people are been like knocking over cast members and using that stupid flashlight trick to find the black kyber crystal. So, I don't know. Personally, I think Disney should just put the black kyber crystal in its own separate tube like the rest of them. Just make it easier to collect because there's so many scalpers on eBay because of that ordeal. But anyways, here is of course red. And then of course the sound. So let me go ahead and put the remaining pieces back on here. Turn these lights back on. Screw in the pieces. Now, all together, which actually I almost forgot, there is one more sound that we are missing. If you don't have a blade attached, this is also a sound effect that you get exclusive to these instead of the legacy ones that I demonstrated before, which is of course a misfire. Once again. So there you guys go. So altogether, the $200 experience, is it worth it? In my opinion, yes. The fact that when you have all the components put together, this is really, really heavy. But, you know, the sense of joy, the music, and the atmosphere that you have, along with all the other builders around you, because everyone's going to have, you know, different styles. Some people may, you know, go with the same components as you. It's just a fun-filled thing. I mean, if you're a big Star Wars fan, and if you ever wanted the experience of putting together a nice high-end lightsaber, it's well worth it for sure. Do keep in mind, again, because of the initial weight, you might want to be careful swinging this around. If you were to drop this on your foot or throw this at someone's head, you are going to do some major damage, which I would recommend you not do so. And if you are a parent who is going to be paying for your child's lightsaber, custom lightsaber, again, I would also use caution to ensure that your kids aren't playing with these recklessly. I mean, if they're getting it, and of course, if they want to display it by getting one of those custom lightsaber stands that they have at Doc Ondar's, and then that's an option you can go with. The other thing, of course, that I have totally forgot about is if the blade is in here, how does it feel? And altogether, there is a little bit of a wobble when you have a blade in here. It's not too much of a big deal. Maybe it's just to absorb some of the impact and whatnot. But if you're not, of course, going to be swinging this around or anything crazy like that, or maybe you're just going to be taking it easy as you activated that. as you're just kind of swinging it around, you know, nothing too crazy, then it's going to be perfectly fine. Again, overall, it's definitely worth it. The only negative that I have is, again, I just feel like this bag is way on the cheap side. I feel like they could have done just a little bit better. But again, that's my opinion, and I'm sticking to that. But if you guys have any questions, let me know in the comment section down below, and let me know if you are going to be building a lightsaber at Savi's workshop, what path will you choose? Will you be choosing the protection and defense? Will you be choosing the power control, peace and justice, or elemental nature? Let me know in the comment section down below, and I'll see you guys on the next video where we'll be taking a closer look at the Jedi and Sith holocrons and to see what characters that I get. But until then, I'll see you guys next time.
This is about you and your dreams. So builders, I ask you all to please close your eyes. Close your eyes, I can see you. In your mind, picture your crystal. What color calls out to you? What color will your blade be? Now, please open your eyes, for it is time for you to pick your kyber crystal.
Three in a row? You gotta be careful with this side. 3 in a row, powerful choices.
Oh my. It's on your side.
Good choice. Go ahead, just set it right there.
I need one more blue.